What is going on, guys? My name is Pleaf and welcome to another video. Pokemon Platinum, regarded as one of the best Pokemon games of all time. A Game Freak masterpiece. A game with my all-time favorite Pokemon, Torterra. Now imagine Pokemon Platinum, with all its glory, as a randomizer. A randomizer? What's that? For those who don't know, it's a version of a game where many different aspects are changed, or randomized, hence its name. Well, that is the version that I'm going to be playing. But not as a normal playthrough, as a Nuzlocke. What is a Nuzlocke, you might be asking? Well, it's a special kind of playthrough meant to be harder for the player. It involves a special set of rules a player must follow in order to achieve this difficulty. Now let me go over the rules before we begin. If a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead and can no longer be used. Only one encounter per route. If you've already caught a Pokemon or any of its evolutionary line, you can re-roll your encounter, known as Dupe's Claws. Every caught Pokemon must be nicknamed. And finally, the battle style will be put on set style to give more of a challenge. Now that we have all the rules laid out, let me dive into the great story of my first randomized Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. I name myself Pleaf and my rival Barry. When it comes to starters, my options are Bastiodon, Sableye, and Solrock. I ended up going with Bastiodon because stats are randomized, so I just picked the coolest one. Right after, Barry challenged me to a battle. He sent out Sableye and I sent out Bastiodon. It was at this moment that I realized how good my Pokemon's moves were. I used Drill Peck and to my surprise it OHKO'd my opponent's Pokemon. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what OHKO stands for, it stands for One Hit KO, and it's a common phrase that will come up here and there throughout the playthrough. After kicking his butt, Barry and I went to our local lake. While we were there, we met Cyrus. Now, I would like to pause right here and just point out how unfortunate his genetics are. This man is confirmed to be 27 years old, yet he looks like he could be a grandfather. Anyways, the interaction ends and I quickly make my way to the professor's lab, where he finally allows me to name my starter. I name him Tridon, derived from Triceratops and Bastiodon. Finally, I set out on my adventure. Well, first I receive a Pokedex, which I will not be completing for this playthrough. My next stop was the Pokemart, where I purchased some Pokeballs. Now, the challenge has officially started. I ran back to the routes I had previously seen, catching an Ariados named Stomper, but sadly with my next encounter, I tried catching at full health in case my busted starter killed it, but Tridon's HP got low, so I ended up running, failing my encounter. But now, with my new teammate in hand, I spoke with my mother. She expressed her joy with my future adventure while I'm a bit nervous about it. Before I could leave, Barry's mom asked me to deliver a parcel to him in the next town. I traveled to Route 202 to complete my first task, but before I could continue to Jubilife City, Dawn stopped me to show me how to catch a Pokemon. Now, on another side note, I think all future Pokemon games should have an option where if you've already caught a Pokemon, you should be able to skip this tutorial. It's completely useless at this point. But that's not the reality we live in, so I just get to sit here and watch Dawn catch a Pokemon.
After waiting for that Boarfest to end, I encountered a Togepi, catching it and naming it King. Stupidly, I thought I could easily take down the first trainer of Route 202 without any level grinding, but that was not the case. Stomper had found his match, a silly, stupid little Minun, and with Aerial Ace, it killed Stomper in 2 hits before I could even get to know him. King came in and killed the little Pika clone. After the battle, I took a moment to honor the first death of this playthrough. As I did, I realized that this won't be as easy as I thought it was going to be. But I knew I needed to complete it, and went back out into the world. Then, after some tedious level grinding to make sure, I took down the rest of the trainers on Route 202. I finally made it to Jubilife City. We're interrupted on our tour by Looker, An international police officer. After being given full access to Jubilife City, I fish up and catch a Polytoad, which I name Valet, and I try to get my encounter on Route 202, which didn't go as planned either. King, being vengeful still from the last battle, O-code Anatu, that was my encounter. But hey, at least you know what the abbreviation stands for now. The next portion of my adventure was the trainer school. It didn't take me long to beat the first of the trainers inside, but the second one gave me a bit of trouble. I sent out Valet. He started out by using Dig, and my opponent's Magby matched this by using Dig too. Since Magby dug second, I missed my attack, while his landed. And that brings me to the curse of Gen 4. These games are notorious for critical hits killing Pokemon. Take for example, Jaden Animation's Nuzlocke.
Too. Very cute. What? No! Whoa, no!
And it's no different here. What should have been a neutral attack, O-code my Valet, with a critical hit. This was another sad loss as I couldn't even keep my new encounters for more than like one battle. So to be safe, I brought in Trident, who wiped the floor with the Magby. I left the battle with a grudge, but went to give Barry his parcel, in return getting my town map. Then I went outside and I spoke to a guy who tells me to find these 3 clowns and talk to them. I did it quickly by mashing A because every answer is yes to their questions if you didn't know this already. And I received my Poketch. After unlocking this new tool, I healed up, purchased some Pokeballs, and battled Barry in the next route over. He started out by sending out Tyrogue, and I led with Trident. It took my big tank 2 hits to take out his Tyrogue, which caused Barry to send out his Sableye. With my prior knowledge that flying was super effective against his starter, I O-coded with Drillpeck. My next task was to catch the encounters on this route, and not to kill them. With this in mind, I ran over to the grass and I found a Chingling. I just threw Pokeballs at it so I didn't kill it, and caught it at the level 4. I named him Missile and went on my way. I quickly defeated all the trainers on the route and collected all the items. None of them were useful, just random berries. I decided to go to the Orberg Gate and find my next encounter, and then get to the next city. After running around, I found a Gulpin. Gulpindees! Anyways, I finally made it to the city with the first gym. I found a Soothe Bell and a Heart Scale. 2 great items. And inside the mines, I found something spectacular. I found a Master Ball.
What?
That reaction says it all. Now I had something in case I found a shiny, or a legendary, or anything like that. My next encounter though was unfortunately another failure. I ran out of Pokeballs, and I wasn't gonna use my Master Ball this early. I ran away, and I traveled to the mart, but I learned I was too broke to afford more Pokeballs. So with that roller coaster of emotions, I decided to journey further back into the mines, getting Roark to return to his gym. I healed up and charged headfirst into the gym. I beat the 2 trainers inside, and after an additional Poke Center visit, I took on the man himself. He led with Pidgeot, and I sent out Trident. Pidgeot kicked up a sandstorm, which affected both our Pokemon. My first move, I set up Stealth Rocks, which would deal damage to any of his Pokemon after the Pidgeot. His Pokemon used Bite, which it wasn't very strong, so I hit it with a Drill Peck on my second turn, and Pidgeot used Bite again, not doing much damage either. Roark then used a potion, but it wasn't enough to stop my Steel Wing from finishing the job. His second Pokemon was much scarier though. He sent out a Heatran. I had no information on its typing or its moveset, So I picked one of Trident's 2 attacking moves randomly and hoped for the best. With the damage from Stealth Rocks, Trident's Steel Wing was able to O-code the Heatran. Now he was down to his last Pokemon. A Quillfish with the ability Download. I started with a Steel Wing, but it barely did any damage. The Quillfish used Dive, and with Trident getting low, I decided to make a switch. Originally, my plan was to switch into Chingling as cannon fodder, but I made a mistake. With a simple misclick, I sent out Deez. I knew right then and there that Deez's adventure with me had come to an end. He was a ground type, weak to water, and just as I had thought, Deez was O-code. Another death to the total, but this one was personal. It was my failure that killed him. But with his death aside, I decided to send out Trident again, getting a Drill Peck off, in the hopes that it was stronger than the Steel Wing. And to my joy, it was, but still not enough to kill. The Quillfish survived on 1 HP, which was very annoying, but as it went down for another dive, giving me a turn to switch, I did. I knew it was time for my Chingling to sacrifice itself. I made the switch, and I was ready for the death. But a miracle happened. Missile survived with 6 HP left. It must have been Deez from the heavens protecting him. But with the sandstorm still in effect, the Quillfish went down, and I had beat the first gym leader. Well, that'll be the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe and watch another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.